everyone, it's Dr. Joyce Park, board certified dermatologist, and we need to talk about the 10 to 12-year-olds that are raiding and terrorizing Sephora. This is all over my social media platforms where I'm seeing reactions to tweens and preteens basically going into Sephora and raiding the shelves. They're going after the drunk elephants, the glow recipes, all the trendy brands, the rare beauties, whatever you name it, they love it, they'll take it, and they are going to town on skincare. And I wanted to react to this trend of preteens and tweens, 10 to 12-year-olds, using really complex 10 to 12 step skincare routines because I'm a dermatologist, so I want to help these young teens, preteens figure out what they need and what they don't need for their skin. And secondly, because I get a lot of questions from my friends who are moms and dads, who are like, Dr. Joyce, is it really necessary to be spending $85 to $100 on my preteen's moisturizer or on vitamin C or on retinol? Short answer is no. But today we're going to create a preteen and tween friendly skincare routine, going back to the basics, and I'm going to answer your questions of whether or not this truly complex skincare routine is really necessary for these kids. So first of all, let's get one thing straight. Preteens do not need to be worried about using anti-aging products. They just don't. I mean, what are they really so worried about? They shouldn't be worried about wrinkling. They shouldn't be worried about sagging. They shouldn't have that many dark spots yet. I mean, they're only 10 to 12 years old. So let's face it, they have more collagen in their faces than we ever will at our age of 20s, 30s, 40s, and plus. I mean, we can only be envious of their young, youthful, bouncy, full skin. And so, do they need to be using anti-aging ingredients like peptides, collagen, retinol, vitamin C, retinoids? No. They do not need to be going crazy with the actives. The one exception to this rule is if you're a preteen or you're the parent of a preteen, and if your 10 to 12-year-old is struggling with a skincare condition, like if they have acne or if they have keratosis pilaris on their faces, then yes, they may need some active ingredients. They may need some medications really to help treat their medical conditions. For example, if your preteen is struggling with acne, then you should bring them to a dermatologist to get proper treatment. And no, you don't need to bring them instead to Sephora to spend hundreds on over-the-counter skincare products. It's best to take them to a dermatologist because then we can really give them directed treatment for their main skincare concern. So now that we got this out of the way, that preteens do not need anti-aging products, let's go ahead and build a very friendly, gentle, minimalist, and effective skincare routine for 10 to 12-year-olds. So starting off strong in the morning, I recommend my young patients to just wash their face with water. Honestly, it's optional to wash your face in the morning. If you have very oily skin, if it feels oily and sweaty in the morning, then go ahead and use a basic cleanser like the one that I'll cover for the PM routine. But otherwise, it's okay to just wash your face with water in the morning. Just splash some water on your face, helps to wake you up a little bit too, get you ready for school. Second step in the morning is I would use sunscreen. You know, you could say like, okay, but if I'm really dry, should I use a moisturizer? Sure, you can. Maybe in the winter time, maybe if you have eczema, sure, your second step can be moisturizer. But by and large, I really encourage 10 to 12-year-olds to also think about using sunscreen and starting this habit young and making it a part of their everyday routine so that they will establish this habit for the rest of their lives to really protect their skin from UV rays. And I recommend using sunscreen 365 days a year, but if you're like me and you live in Seattle and the UV index is literally 0 and I'm not going outside, it's probably fine if you skip it. However, I do recommend using sunscreen in all the other sunnier parts of the world. A question I often get asked is, should kids kids, including 10 to 12-year-olds, use mineral or chemical sunscreens? And the answer is both are fine. So it's whatever your 10 to 12-year-old, your preteen prefers and enjoys using. And the reason for that is because both mineral and chemical sunscreens are great. They both have their pros and their cons. If your teen tends to have really sensitive skin and tends to mount allergic reactions on the face to sunscreens or other skincare products, then you may want to try for more mineral sunscreens, which are zinc oxide or titanium dioxide based. However, if your teen does not have sensitive skin, or if your teen has more melanin in their skin and they don't like the white cast that a lot of mineral sunscreens may leave behind, then they may want to choose a chemical sunscreen. There are lots of different chemical and mineral sunscreen options available, and I will link to all of my favorites below. One type of sunscreen that your child or your preteen may really enjoy are sunscreen sticks. Now, there's no reason why a kid needs to use a specific tween, teen, or kid sunscreen stick. They can certainly use adult sunscreen sticks. Two of my favorite sunscreen sticks are the Beauty of Joseon Matte Sunscreen Stick, which I've talked about before, and I'll link to the video here where I talk about it in the past, and also the Isntree Hyaluronic Acid Sun Stick, which I've also reviewed before in this sun stick video, and I'll link to that below as well. So both of those are really great, especially for summertime, because they are matte, they're oil absorbing, and they go on totally clear. If you're not a fan of those, you can also choose the Sun Bum SPF 50 sunscreen stick. This is compatible with all of the Hawaii Reef recommendations where certain ingredients are banned, and this is water resistant for 80 minutes. You can get it on Amazon, doesn't leave a white cast, very easy to apply. The trick with sunscreen sticks is to really teach your preteen, or if you're a preteen listening to this, the trick is really to use enough. So you really want to get a good enough layer on your skin that you're actually getting the full UV protective benefits. And sometimes it can be a little hard to know exactly how many that is, but we do recommend at least 3 passes over the same place. And don't forget to reapply every 2 hours. Reapply if you're going to be going out again in the sun, because the efficacy of sunscreen does go down over time as it absorbs UV and as you sweat, as you rub away at it, or if you go in the water, or if you work out. So it really is very crucial to reapply. That is it for the morning. Honestly, optional cleanse, splash some water on the face, maybe moisturizer if you're feeling dry, and then sunscreen. And then you get your backpack and off you go to school. Now let's fast forward to the nighttime routine. At night, I do recommend using a cleanser to wash off the dirt, grime, debris, and oil from the day from your face. And I am a big fan of drugstore products for 10 to 12-year-olds because, again, you really don't need to be spending a ton on active ingredients with lots of testing behind it. No, you just don't need that. Your skin doesn't need that. So for cleanser, I do recommend the CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser. I've recommended this many times before, and I actually use this myself every night. It is a very, very gentle as well as hydrating formula, contains ceramides, which is the mainstay of CeraVe's developments and products. And it's just very good for sensitive skin, oily skin, combination skin, acne skin. I will say if you struggle with acne at this age, then you may want to use a different wash. Like you may want to use a benzoyl peroxide wash, like from Differin. The Differin, there it comes as a 4% or a 10%. And you can use this wash on your face. You can use it on your body, like your chest and your back if you have acne at this age. Or you can opt for a salicylic acid cleanser, like the CeraVe SA Renewing Cleanser as well. And that can really help with acne too. Next, if you struggle with acne, I would say this is an optional step for my 10 to 12-year-olds. If you're finding that you're starting to get blackheads, whiteheads, and clogged pores, you can use a retinoid. And the one that I do recommend is adapalene or Differin 0.1% gel that's over the counter and FDA approved to treat acne. Or you can see your dermatologist and we can prescribe you tretinoin, which is a different retinoid. And these are very, very effective for helping normalize normalize skin cell turnover, exfoliate your pores, and help with whiteheads and blackheads and acne. And obviously, tretinoin has a ton of anti-aging benefits too. Again, we're not using tretinoin for 10 to 12-year-olds for anti-aging benefits. I'm just saying if you struggle with acne and pore congestion and clogged pores, whiteheads, blackheads, when you're in this stage of 10 to 12, then using a retinoid might be helpful for you. And there's lots of different options. If you get deep cystic pimples as well, you can also think about using a pimple patch. These are hydrocolloid dressings that we use in dermatology all the time to suck up pus and fluid. We use them in wound dressings for wet exudative wounds, but you can put one of these on over your cyst and it can help to draw out some impurities, some pus, and the main benefit too is that it keeps your dirty, grubby hands away from it so that you're not introducing new bacteria, you're not tearing a hole in your skin, you're not pushing it, you're not trying to pop it. It really keeps it away from your hands. A couple hydrocolloid patches or pimple patches that I like. One is the OG. It was produced by my friend, actually, Ju Ryu. This is the Hero, the Mighty patch, the original imported from Korea, and a couple others like CosRX and others that I'll link below. After you wash your face and after you put on your optional retinoid, then you go on to your moisturizer step. And I recommend just a very bland, safe moisturizer that's good for sensitive skin, and that is the one from Vanicream. This is the Vanicream Moisturizing Skin Cream. It comes out of a pump, and this one's a little bit thicker. They also make a more watery, kind of thinner lotion type, so you can choose whichever one suits your skin better. And I like this one because it's free of fragrance and a lot of other things that could potentially irritate 10 to 12-year-olds' skin, which can be a little bit more sensitive at that age. And it goes on really lightweight, it's non-comedogenic, it doesn't clog your pores, and I've been using this on my son for a long time. If you find that your skin is extremely dry, especially during winter time, or if you suffer from eczeama, then I recommend skipping the lotion and just going straight in with a thin layer of petrolatum. So Vaseline or Aquaphor to the face, a great occlusive. And I actually use this on my son because he has pretty severe eczema, especially in the wintertime. So I use Vaseline or Aquaphor straight up as a moisturizer, and I just do a thin layer all over his body, but yeah, on his face as well. The one thing to note, as I've said before, is I wouldn't use petrolatum over actives. So I wouldn't practice slugging, which is putting that thin layer of occlusive on over active ingredients like retinoid or acids, because that can actually make your skin more sensitive and have more side effects from the exfoliants. So that is a super simple skincare routine for 10 to 12-year-olds. Do we need to be rating Sephora? No. Do we need to be spending $85 to $100 on skincare products? No. Do we need to be using harsh actives or very strong anti-aging ingredients on 10 to 12-year-old skin? No. What we can do is practice a minimalist approach to skincare where you focus on just maintaining your very healthy and strong skin barrier and treating problems as they arise. So like I've mentioned before, if you have acne, if you have rosacea, those are things that you can go see your dermatologist for, or if you're a parent of a preteen watching this, take your kid to go see a dermatologist, because then we can really give them treatments that are very specified to the condition that they're suffering from. And you don't have to go on this wild goose chase looking for all these expensive over-the-counter products. I hope that this video can help streamline your skincare routine and make you feel better about not spending hundreds on a skincare routine, because it really isn't necessary. As usual, please leave any questions or comments below. And if you want me to create a skincare routine for other age groups, please let me know and leave those below as well. Of note, I am scheduled for a C-section in 2 weeks, so I don't know how regularly I will be posting on YouTube in the next few weeks, but I will certainly try, and I will definitely be reading your comments as well. Until next time!